What we're making here is a Lanyard Keychain Cross, and we're starting with a washer and 4 strands, 20 inches for the top. Okay, I'm gonna make sure the lengths are same for some of these, and see real quick. Okay, now this is how it starts. You have the 2 opaque strands on top going through the washer, and then you have clear strands crossing behind. Alright, and we're going to start by taking the left strand and going to the left of the blue, and taking the yellow and going down the middle. Okay, just like that. Now we take these 2 strands and we bring those over this way, fold them to the right and put them between these 2 fingers, and then fold these 2 right up. And then this top strand from the right goes through both of those open loops. And here's the tricky part. Kind of slide those up a little bit, and we weave through the very last strand, just like that. Okay, and then we'll take it like that, and pull them all tight. Okay, let's check the other side, make sure there's nothing that's twisted, no glitches. Okay, looks good. Let's tighten that. Alright, I'm going to tighten that a little bit more. Alright, we have completed 1 double sailor's crown knot. There it is. Alright, let's do 1 more. Just like we did the first one. Fold 1 strand down to the left, then the yellow one goes in between, and these 2 strands, fold them to the right, 2 strands on the bottom, fold up right between these 2 loops, fold those 2 like that, and we have this one on the top. Put that through, and let's weave the last one through. There it is, just like that. Okay, now just take a hold of all 4 and pull it tight. There it is. Let's make sure we don't have any glitches again. No, easy to do with the clear stuff. Okay, pulling it tight, pulling it tighter again, and there it is. Alright, double sailor's crown knot. We've just done 2 knots on the top portion of the keychain, and I usually do 6 knots on the top, and then I use the top part with the bottom and merge them together. Let's go ahead and put this piece aside, and let's bring in bottom strands. Okay. Now this is starting out a little differently than the first one. I'm having the clear lacing cross above, and I'm not using a washer. Okay, like so. Okay, so I have those crossed like that. Alright, but basically the same stitch. The first, actually the first stitch is a little different too. First stitch, because what I'm gonna end up doing is flipping this whole thing over, and it will basically seal itself with a knot on both sides. You'll see as I go. We start with a stitch that goes to the right, which is in between the blue and the yellow here, and so it's kind of doing a barrel diagonal, and then the other one to the right of the yellow. Okay, so opposite of what we did with the very first one. Now we take the two strands from the right and fold them to the left, and we take the bottom, fold those up, and then we take this strand here and poke it through. Okay, then we are left with this one to weave through. And so we take the last strand and we weave that one right through. This can be a little tricky. Okay, just like that. Now let's pay attention to our strands and make sure that they're not getting twisted. Make sure they're all flat. Okay. See how that's coming? Alright, those. Just like that. Pull those all tight. Just like that. Okay. Alright. Okay, there's the first knot of the bottom. Now the bottom will have 14 knots where the top had 6. And this is the first knot. And here's the point. Here's the part that I want to show you is tricky. Is now we're done with the bottom. We flip it over. Now this should look just like the top. There's the top. Just like the top, okay? I'm gonna take and do a diagonal. We are working the opposite way, but we're using the same exact stitches we did for the top. Alright, and then we take the two from the left and fold them to the right. And then we fold the bottom up. And this top strand right through those loops, just like that. Alright, now we gotta separate those again and weave this last one through. Okay. Right through there and through there. Okay, so we're ending up with the same knot as we did the very first knot that we did on the top. And what we'll end up doing is continuing 12 more knots of the same thing. What I have here is the completed bottom start point with 2 knots. Okay, let me pull that a little tighter. Okay. Just like that. All right. Okay. There it is. Now, I have a top and a bottom piece. When I have done my 12 stitches here and my 4 more stitches on the other piece, I will have 2 pieces that I can merge together. Let's put this one aside, and I just so happened to have 2 that are at that point. Look at that. Okay. All right, now the top, it's going to look like that. And on the side is where I'm working. I want to divide it out and isolate 4 strands from the top and 4 strands from the bottom. Okay, so now I have my 8 strands to work with again, and I'm ready to do some more stitches. Okay, the first knot, straight across. All right, this one's straight and this one's straight. Straight across, just like that. Now let's take the strands from the right, 2 from the bottom piece, and fold them to the left. The 2 clear strands from the bottom, fold, okay, leaving 2 loops. Take the top strand here and thread that through. Okay. All right, there it is. Okay. Now let's turn it right over to make it easier. And slide this down, and we're gonna weave this last one just like we do in the regular knots. Weave the last thread through, and there it is. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull those. Sometimes easy to do this on a table or put it on your knee and just pull those tight. Careful not to get any glitches. Now, yep. Whenever it spins like that, anytime it spins like that and not flat, that's glitches. We're gonna get rid of that because it's not gonna look pretty after if it's got glitches in it. All right, now, there it is. We're gonna pull that tight just like that. And there it is, I'm pulling it tight again. All right, we have completed 1 knot of the merge. All right, there it is. Okay, just like that. All right, I'm gonna put it down here again. Just pull it tight. Okay. All right, let's do 1 more knot. Now this one, this is we have to do 5 more knots on this side, and then we'll be doing also the other side in the same way. So on this side, the difference we got to do here for these knots is we're going to do it different from the barrel stitch that we did on the top and the bottom. We're going to go, instead of the left like we did for some of the top parts, we're going to go diagonally in the middle here, and diagonally with this one, and then these 2 are going to come back to the left, and the 2 on the bottom Go up. And okay, then we take the top strand and thread it through. Okay. Let's turn it over. And let's weave the last one through. There it is. Okay. Weave this one through. Like that. There it is. Okay, now let's pull these tight. There it goes. Just like that. Okay. Pulling it tight all the way around. And see, it's starting to spiral because after my first knot, my second knot is a barrel, so it starts to spin. So you can see how the pattern kind of goes as it starts to spin. Okay, here's a good way to show you kind of how that looks. See these two starting to spin. First knot. So we continue with those knots. So we continue with those knots and we do 4 more knots on that side, and then we turn it over and we isolate these strands again. And we basically do the same thing on this side that we just did. First we go straight over and straight over. Okay. And we take these two and we fold them over, and we take the 2 from the bottom and we end up folding those back up again, just like we did with the top. So that's basically what it is. As we complete doing the rest of that, I usually, when I get to after doing 6 stitches, I usually clip off the plastic right at the edge of the stitches. If you look at this one, this is the finished product. See how the ends of these are clipped off, and I pull them quite tightly so they don't unravel. Pretty much holds itself together. So, and that's pretty much what it is. There's the Keychain Cross. Alright, we have some other variations. This particular variation, this is single sailor's crown knots using just 2 strands each, and also merging in the same fashion, but not with 4, but with 8, using just 4. So we use 2 from the bottom from both sides and the top, and then we merge them that way. And then let's see, we also have some other different kinds, mostly different color combinations depending on how many strands. This particular one uses 1 strand of the opaque yellow and 3 strands of the clear. This one's just like one we did, it's just different color combinations. And then there's also, these are crosses using just box stitches. Very same kind of technique, except for there's no diagonals. These ones use all straight across box stitches. Same 32 knots, but just use no diagonals. And there are other ones that you can kind of goof around with. This is a fish that uses a similar technique when you do the tail piece. A little bit trickier because I merge, it's hard to see it, but I merge right here. You can see where I merge pieces together. That's another thing that you can do, which is very useful. And there's one of my other favorites. This one uses not just 8 strands, but 10, I think, 11, 10, 8. Anyways, that one's a quite complicated one. You're working with I think it's 12 strands actually. So those are some of the other projects you can do.